All right, family, we're back. And again, we're going to go into our second hour, our training and orientation. And at this time, we're joined by Sister Shinyere Kenyama. Greetings, Sister Shay. How you doing?
I'm doing well, DJ. How are you?
I'm doing good also. And I also want to go to Baba Kimbizi and open up his line. Okay, here we go. Greetings, Baba Kimbizi. How you doing?
Excellent, Brother DJ. Good to be here.
All right. And again, they'll be taking care of us for this second half of the call as they walk us through the 10-point appeal and plan for building the new black economy. Take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother DJ, for bringing us in the last hour, just listening to the last hour. I would assume that most people who are on the call now listened to that last hour, and it was just chock full of information, and I really appreciate the discussion. Baba Kimbizi, how you doing this evening?
I'm feeling great, Shay. How about yourself?
I'm doing very, very well. I'm excited. It seems like every week, the more and more we take this second hour and do member training and orientation, I'm just more excited about Thursdays. So I'm doing very well. And we'll just jump right into this hour. And please, anyone who's listening in, we'll give you opportunity to join the discussion. Again, my name is Sister Shay or Shinyere, and we're joined also by Baba Kimbizi or Byron Merritt. The purpose of this call this evening, the purpose of the 10 o'clock member training and orientation is to provide education on UsLiftingUs, on the cooperative model, and why it is we're doing what it is we're doing. Education is one of the keys to how ULU will grow as a cooperative enterprise, how it will grow and prosper. So education will be ongoing. If you haven't already put this time on your calendar, make sure you do, because on into the foreseeable future, we're going to own this hour on Thursday nights. This is ULU member training and orientation. Now, this call is not closed to members, though. Of course, you all, several of you who are on the call, you may not be members of ULU yet. So also, you just look at this like community education in general until it is the time for you to join us, to join into ULU. So we appreciate you being here. Of course, to our members, we definitely appreciate your support of the vision and being on the Thursday night call. We have several people who are on every Thursday night and who are inviting their friends, their family members to the call. So for the past 8 nights, we've delved into a discussion on ULU using, or UsLiftingUs, ULU for short, using the ULU 10-point appeal and plan as a guide to lead the discussion. You can find the ULU 10-point appeal and plan at our website if you don't already have a copy of it or have it in your email. Our website, of course, is www.usliftingus.com. So that's www.usliftingus.com. Before you're even able to enter into the site, you automatically see the ULU 10-point appeal and plan. It's just that important. It's there for you as a PDF as well. We have it there like that so you can easily print it off and use it in group discussions or to share with others, your friends, family members who are clear about taking control of the economics of our community. We definitely want you to share this information with them. I always like to put things into perspective by saying to ULU members particularly, this is your business. This is your co-op. One of the most powerful acts you can take is to share ULU with brothers and sisters, and like I said, especially those that take the position that we have to take control of our communities in a very real way. And ULU, of course, provides that practical model to do so. So just for a little housekeeping, those of you who are listening in via phone and would like to ask a question, like Baba Yoga Bay. I know he's listening in always with a question or a comment to further the discussion, and we really appreciate that. You simply press the number 1 on your phone, and we will acknowledge your request to join the discussion. If you're listening in on the internet and you want to join the conversation, call in at 646-716-5682. Again, that's 646-716-5682. If you would like to be a part of the mailing list and you are not, make sure you go to our website and request more information. Again, that's UsLiftingUs.com. So before we jump into the 10-point appeal and plan, let's just do a recap very briefly on ULU. ULU, again, is an acronym for Uplifting Us Economic Development Cooperative, LLC, which is a global business organization designed to change the way we do business with and among ourselves and others. Our primary objective is to put in place successful business models that give us the capacity to gain significant control of the economics of our communities and nations, and to help free us from the current state of economic domination and exploitation by multiple forces in the world. So I'll go ahead and introduce the 10-point appeal and plan. If you have the document, please read along with me. ULU 10-point appeal and plan for the new black economy. Current events and the general unrest of the times call for radical change. The following points provide practical and necessary steps for a new and positive existence for us today and for future generations. Point 1. As black people, we take full responsibility for the economic destiny of our communities and nations. Point 2, black persons and black institutions, especially the black church, join together as members in a large-scale, cooperatively owned business enterprise to pool our resources. Point 3, this cooperatively owned business enterprise is reflective of our unique culture and interest in the world. Point 4, the governance and legal form of the cooperative accommodate democratic principles: one member, one vote with elected leadership. Point 5, only members of the cooperative and not the public have the opportunity to secure ownership units or equity in the business enterprise, with the potential to amass billions of dollars for community development. Point 6, the cooperative focuses on opening and operating businesses in local communities that, 1, provide needed goods and services, 2, create new jobs, 3, stimulate additional business activity, and 4, yield a fair profit. Point 7, the cooperative is driven to duplicate and expand into hundreds and eventually thousands of businesses, all owned and controlled by the collective. Point 8, the net profits from overall cooperative success are used to, 1, reinvest, 2, for the distribution of grants and endowments, and 3, direct returns to member owners of the cooperative. Point 9, which is the point that we'll be concentrating on tonight, the large-scale cooperatively owned or group-owned business enterprise functions as a catalyst and central element in building and sustaining the new black economy, one that gives power to our people. Point 10, UsLiftingUs Economic Development Cooperative, LLC serves as the aforementioned model. As a special note, you'll see these 10 points form the basis for black economic empowerment. The security and welfare of our people starts with our determination to control the economics of our communities and nations. Black people and black people alone hold the key to the gateway leading to their freedom. That particular quote, that last part, is from Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, 1923. Also, if you're looking at the ULU 10-point appeal and plan for the new black economy, you notice the term Ujamaa, which means familyhood, and with ULU, we use that term to express family economics. That's what we're doing here, and that's what ULU is all about. So just to go over point 9 before we delve into the discussion, point 9 again says the large-scale cooperatively owned or group-owned business enterprise functions as a catalyst and central element in building and sustaining the new black economy, one that gives power to our people. So, Bobby Kambezi, before I turn it over to you, I had a couple thoughts here. At this point, and we've talked about this before, you and I, on this particular call, and definitely Brother DJ and Bobby Hakima have talked about this quite a bit, maybe even got into it tonight. But at this point, we have numerous organizations, which are nonprofit and for-profit entities across the black world that are looking to unify us economically, funding institutions and supporting black-owned businesses, which are all a part of the formula. All of these things are necessary, for our economic advancement. The one most distinguishable and the genius element of ULU is that we're introducing the idea of owning together, again, I should say owning together, that which we're giving energy to. ULU is about our collective ownership. There's no central group or one owner of this enterprise, and then you just, from the outside, you invest in it. That's not what we're doing here. We're all equal owners of a large-scale business, and I think that's really, really important for us to key in on as members are listening, as others who are not members who are listening and learning about ULU. That's something very, very important for you to put in your mind. This is about ownership. We all know the power of ownership on some level or another. At some point in time in your life, you've been an owner of something, and we also know collectively the feeling of not owning or not having control. And so, again, I just want us to hone in on ownership because ULU gives us the long-term opportunity to be owners, but not on our own. We're owners as family. So as we get into this, I want to just give you the opportunity to express your thoughts as we come into some more definite points within this discussion.
Well, thank you, Shay. And as I'm looking at this 9th point and reflecting on the 9 weeks that we've shared in walking through the 10-point plan and appeal, I hope our listeners are beginning to gain a sense of appreciation for how ingenious this document is. It's laid out in a linear fashion, but it really is a circular system in that points 1 and 10 create a circle, and this continues to spiral upward, building momentum towards really giving us an economy that is, as you point out, group-owned or collectively owned. And so as I look at this 9th point, the 2 ideas strike me right off the top. First of all, we're talking about large-scale business activity. Think in terms of an enterprise that's generating multi-million dollars of business each and every year. If you just take your average grocery store in any community, a Kroger or a Publix, on average they're probably doing about $500,000 a week or more. Some of those stores are doing $1 million a week in our neighborhood. And so that means they're generating $4 million a month. and times 12, that's $48 million a year. That is economic activity that's happening right in front of our noses. So we have got to begin to expand our thinking so that as we talk about us lifting us and building this group-owned cooperative enterprise and laying the foundation for a cooperative economy, we're not talking a couple of $1,000s a year or $500,000 a year. We're talking about putting together an economic engine that, at minimum, is going to be grossing in the neighborhood anywhere from 12 to 24 to $50 million a year, just through one unit. So we really have to start thinking about sums of money on that magnitude. And we'll probably reference it later in the conversation. But when we talk about Mondragon, for example, in the Basque region of Spain, they started with one manufacturing entity, and in the course of a couple of decades, that one business grew to a $24 billion enterprise. $24 billion, the seventh largest economic company in Spain. So there's a lot of resources flowing through our hands. We've talked about the $1.3 trillion, and as we begin to harness this money and make it work for us rather than just watch it fly out of our community, we've got to begin to think in terms of business enterprises that are generating $50, $100 million a year. And then, of course, that means jobs, and it means resources to underwrite the social institutions that are necessary for our survival and for our growth. So just right off the bat, we want to talk about that this is a large-scale enterprise that we're talking about. Not only is it a large-scale enterprise, but as Baba Hekima mentioned in the previous hour, this is also a global machine. I mean, it spans the entire globe. It's doing business in all parts of the planet. And then the monies that we're talking about at that point become even larger.
Right. I'm glad you began the discussion on Mondragon. I thought it was very important to bring up some numbers and really put what we're doing into perspective. And like you said, Mondragon started with a very, very small group of individuals, something like the amount of folks we had around the table starting Us Lifting Us. And over the years, like you said, into the billions, 20-plus billion. Now, for those of you who would like more information on Mondragon, just because it's an example that we use, you can look at their website. And Mondragon is spelled Mondragon. And so their website is mondragon-cooperation.com. And just to put a little bit more meat on the bones when we're talking about a cooperative model, a global cooperative model, as it stands right now today, Mondragon has within the larger enterprise 260 businesses and cooperatives, over 74,000 employees, and 15 technology centers. And so when you think about that and all of the possibilities, remember ULU is open, and this was started by a group of individuals in the Basque region of Spain in one particular location. ULU is open to all people of Black African descent all over the world, right? That forms a very large base, a very large foundation right there. And for some folks who are a little bit more technical in nature and you want to understand how ULU is formed legally, ULU is an LLC. And being an LLC means that we don't have any borders in terms of membership. Our members can be anywhere around the world. So currently we have membership all over the United States, and I believe we're in 6 different countries right now. And so I think that is a testament to the purpose of ULU and then the resources that we have as a collective family to fund ULU ourselves. So that's the first point. Again, that large-scale thrust being global in scope, right? And the base from which we have to build is outstanding. Second point I want to bring into perspective, when we look at point 9, we're talking about group-owned. And again, when I started the call out, I said that I wanted us to key in on ownership because we have to attach ownership to a feeling and ownership in real life. And think about those two things. Think about what it feels like to own something, how we feel collectively and individually, the fact that we don't have ownership and control of our community. ULU is giving us this, like I said, long-term opportunity to do this into the future, right? So when we talk group ownership, in my mind, ownership, it really means having that ongoing responsibility. It means giving far and above what is asked when you just are, how should I say, giving to an organization or volunteering for an organization. Ownership means you go above and beyond. It also means, and this is what really excites me, it gives us the license to be as innovative and responsive in reference to our particular interests in the world. I'm going to say that again because collectively and individually, we need an outlet. As humans, we need an outlet for our innovation, for our creativity, and because of ULU's purpose, again, being a member gives you the license inside of that membership and inside of that ownership to be innovative and really speak to our culture and our interests in the world. Growing in this way means that we've got a lot more possibilities to grow economically into the future. So, Bobby Kimbizi, as far as group ownership is concerned, is there anything that you would like to add to that? And before you do, let me just remind our callers that if you want to jump into this discussion, if you have a question, if you have a comment, so please just press 1 on your phone, and we will acknowledge that request and bring you on into the conversation. I always have to reinforce the fact that this is community work. This is a group conversation. So we happen to be leading the discussion, but it's about all of our input together. So, again, Bobby Kimbizi.
Yeah, this whole notion, idea of group ownership, that is one of the key cardinal points of Us Lifting Us. Where and because we say that Us Lifting Us is family-centered economics, think in terms of a family that owns a plot of land where they farm together. They own collectively a family dwelling that several of the members of the family utilize on a daily basis. Even though they may go off to other places, they know that there's always a place called home that if times get hard, they can return to. They got a roof over their heads and a place to sleep and a seat at the dinner table. So we live in a culture that is so individualistically driven, and we see such rampant examples of hyper individualism. It's almost counterintuitive or countercultural to talk about group ownership, where we pool our resources and build the institutions collectively that we need. I'll never forget, as a freshman attending Syracuse University, and at the time that we were there was only like 54 black students on campus. And so 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores, we didn't have any transportation. We couldn't afford, none of us, we were all up there from the city with very few dollars in our pocket. And we said, man, we got to get a car. And so we pooled our money, and the 4 of us bought a used car together. And the car didn't really run long, but while we owned it, we could get to the various places that we had to go. And it gave us a sense of empowerment. We were on a campus where the other community could afford the latest, the sleekest, the most high-powered cars, and they were zooming around, and here we were walking everywhere we had to go. And so we put our money together, we bought us a car, and we could roll where we had to go. And it was just a sense of empowerment to look out the window and see our car parked at the curb. But, I mean, think about that in terms of look out the window and see our grocery store parked at the curb, or our utility company we ride by and tell our kids, yeah, we own that. Our ULU Mart that is doing millions of dollars a month, and tell our kids, yeah, that's our store. Let's go in there and do business. Let's go in there and socialize. That's the key to our liberation and our sovereignty, this group power when we cooperate with one another and work towards common goals. That's the key that will set us free on a level and in a way that we have only imagined and dreamed about heretofore. So the idea of group ownership, I mean, it seems almost logical, and if it wasn't for the way that we have been socialized in this country, we would be doing it right now on a major scale. And so that's one of the reasons why we know that this idea of us lifting us as a large-scale cooperative group-owned enterprise is an idea whose time has come.
I would like to, for a moment, if you would, for the person or people listening in who are encouraged that Us Lifting Us is working and we are in progression toward our goals, but who are just really, really confused or because of the level of entrenchment, because of how they view their individual gain or the fact that they're competing. They have to compete. They're this lone person out here, and the only way to make it is that they're on their own and they're competing, and they just really can't get a grasp on the group model. Can you speak to the barriers that are present? And also, you spoke to it a bit, but also, how does one overcome? How can one start to overcome that type of thinking?
That's an extremely interesting and important question, and one I've been reflecting on over the last couple of weeks and months. What this really boils down to is self-respect and the belief that we can do anything we put our minds to. And when we fail to do it, then that's the tacit acknowledgement that somehow we are less than other communities. And so really we have to begin to see this in our mind first and understand that anything our minds can conceive and our hearts believe we will achieve. We can do collectively anything we decide to do. And if we look back over our history, I mean, we took literally nothing and made everything that we needed. And that's been the story of our sojourn in the United States. We are people that know how to call upon the forces of the universe and make a way out of no way. And nothing has changed about that principle. We still know how to make something out of nothing. And what we're pooling is our collective energy. We're pooling our spiritual power and our spiritual energy, and we are imagining possibilities of things that can be. And when we hold that image in our mind and begin to put effort and energy behind it, then it begins to materialize just as we have imagined it and even better. So it's a matter of getting back to believing in ourselves and trusting in ourselves and working together towards common goals. And now is the perfect time for us to be doing this. Either we will work together or we'll be destroyed individually. And I don't know about you, but I like the former position a whole lot better.
Absolutely. I want to take just a break really quickly. I believe we have a caller on the line, Brother DJ.
Yes, we do. We've got 8551. 8551. Your line is open.
Yes. Greetings, family. This is Brother Charles.
Greetings, Brother Charles.
Yes. How are you doing?
Doing well. And yourself?
Very good, very good. I'm so happy that I did tune in tonight, and especially zeroing in on point 9. It's such a good thing. I just want to make a statement. As a black person, most black people often accustomed to being part of organizations, NAACP, PUSH, Action Network, Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelite, etc. And as members of these organizations, we often struggle financially to address problems of our neighborhoods. So I see ULU as the missing link that all of these groups, organizations can actually plug into to solve these long-standing problems. Someone make a statement about the mind and the universe. It says the existence of the mind and the universe is such that if either one disappear, they both disappear. And they both are one of the same. Peace and blessing.
Wow. That's powerful. Thank you so much, Brother Charles.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now, Brother DJ, am I mistaken? Do we have another caller holding as well?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Yeah, and also, DJ Baba Hekima, at any point, if you all want to jump in here, please do so. If you have a follow-up as well, any one of you to Brother Charles's comment, which I think was so timely, please jump in.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Okay. Moving right along, I did want to get into, and we have about 5 points here that Baba Kimbizi and I are going over. And so we tackled large scale, the fact that ULU is talking about. We are not talking about a small business here. We are talking about changing the way that we do business. We're talking about changing our lives, the lives of our children globally. So when we speak like that, you know that we have to be talking about large-scale business. And for anyone who is wanting to really jump into the nuts and bolts of ULU and how it's being built, please make sure that you go to our website and ask or request more information, and automatically you will receive some very important documents from us, our values and ethics, and our operating agreement. ULU members, you have these documents. If you don't have them readily available or saved on your computer system or in print, then you can go to the ULU member-only portion of the site. And when I tell you it is chock full of good information, I mean, you can stay back there for hours. You can spend an hour a day. Some of the documents, maybe a little bit later, I'll name some of the titles of the documents. But today, as I was just going through it, I'm just looking at the fact that membership into ULU, the annual membership, is $50. $50. So your initial membership payment goes to our operating fund, and then every year thereafter, that $50 that you put into the pot as your membership actually goes toward the purchase of your capital unit. Of course, units are $1,000 a piece, of which some people have purchased multiple units. Some have purchased one unit. Some people are contributing a certain amount every month toward their unit. And the thing is, this is what I want everybody to really picture in your mind. We're still in phase one. We're still building up membership. Hadn't really pulled the trigger and requested or asked everyone to go ahead and purchase their unit. And we're already having that happen. Some people automatically, right? So that's the level of clarity. When you're talking about joining an organization and being a part of a network of like-minded individuals around our economic upliftment and really changing the direction of where we're going, being a part of ULU, it has so many different benefits, from education to the network to the overall goal itself and ownership of business together, that missing link, that missing element, just like what Brother Charles said, that missing link. So I just wanted to put that out there as far as the information and the education just is above board. And if for nothing else, if you're not sure when you can contribute, make sure that you become a member and get into the member portion of the site. Brother DJ, do we have another caller?
Yes, we do, but it's going to take me hold on one second. Having a little bit of a glitch with Blog Talk. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, we good. We've got 3347. 3347, your line is open again.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Doing very well, and you?
Okay, this is Baba Yoga Bay from Atlanta.
Hey.
Yes. One of the things that I like to share for documentation and an overview is one, the movie called Black Friday. 2, Hidden Colors, specifically number 4, but the whole series, but number 4 specifically. And then 3, Out of Darkness. These 3 movies, since we are as a people more visual, as a people we tend to like to see things and interact with things, this will give us a good idea about the point number 9, the large-scale group-owned business enterprise. These movies will act as a catalyst, and it will help us to look at the new black economics that will give us power so that we can compare how business has been going on and how we need to start doing business for ourselves from more of an ethical, more of a holistic point of view. Am I making myself clear?
Absolutely. And just to reiterate, Baba Yoga Bay is speaking of Black Friday, of which one of our ULU board members, Brother DJ, was actually in Black Friday. Also, Hidden Colors. I saw a review on Hidden Colors. I actually began to purchase it over the weekend. Didn't watch it, but I definitely will. And I thank you, Baba Yoga Bay, because you reminded us of that movie and how powerful it is in terms of economics, I think, on the last call. But I saw a review that basically said that certain businesses were really looking at, Hidden Colors as a definite or particular threat to their businesses in terms of us waking up and knowing what we should be doing with our dollars. And also the last one you mentioned was Out of Darkness.
Yes. That, in my opinion, answers questions and go more in depth that the others 2 kind of introduce. But that Out of Darkness is about a 3-hour long, and I mean it is packed with information of past, present, and futuristic.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for always being on point and giving us good information. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you more. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bobby Kimbezi, did you want to lend anything to that particular comment or discussion, or would you like to move on to our next point?
Well,
we do have one more caller also, Shay Holding.
Oh, okay, great.
Go ahead, Baba Kimbezi.
I was going to say, Baba Yogabe, when he mentioned the word catalyst, actually he kind of gave us a segue into the next aspect of point 9, that us lifting us is a catalyst. In other words, it ignites economic activity that we control. It starts a chain reaction based on creating, first of all, critical mass that then enables a chain reaction to move on from that. And as we were talking earlier, the best way to image that, or a metaphor that I think really gives us a dynamic graphic, is that of the whirlwind. This cyclonic force of wind that has the power to redistribute the entire landscape. And it reminded us of the quote from Garvey where he says, "I'll return. Look for me in the whirlwind." So the exciting dimension that this brings to us is that this idea of a large-scale, group-owned, cooperative economic engine is really sweeping the globe, and we are part of that dynamic that is starting this cyclonic force of wind, which is economic activity, and it's a different kind of economic activity. That's the critical point. This is not an exploitive, predatory kind of individualized relationship where people are objectified and then fleeced for all that they're worth and then discarded and thrown to the side. This is an economic activity that is driven by notions of familyhood, of embrace, of love, of a holistic and connecting kind of energy that invites all of us to contribute the best that we have, our gifts, our imagination, our creativity, our innovation in new products, in new ways of relating to one another, and then to do the business that goes along with that. When we're in these kinds of relationships, we're respecting one another, we're appreciating each other's uniqueness and the vital gifts that they represent, and we share that. And then there's the synergy of all of that creates a profit. And so we then take those profits and we build the other institutions that our people need. So us lifting us is this igniter, this initial explosion that gets everything in motion. And as you pointed out, Shay, for $50, they get to participate and help build this initial critical mass that then is going to create this chain reaction down line.
Ashe. Brother DJ, would you like to bring our caller in if they're still holding?
Yes, most definitely. 1675, your line is open.
Yes, this is Jacob. And my question is, where does small business fit into the model?
Well, first off, greetings, Brother Jacob.
Greetings.
How are you?
Just fine.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. And thank you for that particular question. I think some of our members that maybe were not at this past member meeting for our annual summit on March 19th may not be aware. We did send out information on the ratification of our operating agreement. Our members actually voted on, and we're looking at winding down soon, so I'm going to answer this really quickly, and then Baba Kimbezi, if you want to close us out. that will be great. But we did make way. The membership said that it was time for us to be able to not only just plan toward the first ULU mark, which happens in stage 2 of our growth, but we're open now to look at smaller projects, smaller businesses, because success begets success. And that's what we wanted to see as a collective. We wanted to see us investing in smaller businesses, smaller projects, as we're still building toward the flagship model of the ULU Mart, or ULU Marketplace, if you will. So that's where small business fits in right now, actually. But of course, out of our profit, as we pool these resources together and build the ULU Mart, if you want to think of that as our flagship again, then several other businesses will come out of that. But as we're building toward that whole trajectory, we're now looking at smaller businesses to go ahead and invest in and profit from as we, again, continue to build. And hopefully, Brother Jacob, does that kind of address that question
yes,
for
it
you?
does. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, good deal. And thank you. And anyone who has a question that we're not going to be able to answer right now, then make sure that you send us questions at our email, which is info@UsLiftingUs. Also, you can give us a call and leave a message at 404-592-2780. Again, this is important, 404-592-2780. Baba Kimbizi?
Yeah, I was just going to say, in addition to Brother Jacob's question, think about this. Think about it this way: we have UsLiftingUs, this economic engine generating this tremendous flow of economic activity in our communities. Say there's a brother that owns his own auto collision business, a small 3 or 4 man shop. Well, because people are working in ULU businesses and making a livable wage, they now have greater resources to deal with. So instead of having to go across town when their car is damaged, there's more money right here in the areas where we live. So even though this brother is not necessarily a member of UsLiftingUs, his business may not be a cooperatively run business, but he's in the community where people have money. And when their car gets damaged, they can take it to him to get repaired. So he benefits. He sees the benefit of this larger economic engine driving the money activity in the place where he's doing business, and he benefits from that. And so there's kind of a synergy, if you will, or what the word I'm really looking for is there's this symbiotic relationship between UsLiftingUs and perhaps smaller businesses that are around UsLiftingUs. And so this interplay between the UsLiftingUs engine or catalyst and these other businesses is a win-win. There's money circulating in the community. His business grows. People are in the business, and that's where conversations take place. They learn of UsLiftingUs that has transformed this entire neighborhood or community, and we begin to see the benefit of pooling our monies collectively to build the institutions that we need. And quiet as it's kept, this really leads to the creation of this new black economy. Now our money is circulating in ways that benefit everyone that lives in the community, and it's not just this one stop. You know, the money flows in, and within 24 hours, it's back out of the community again. Now we have numerous businesses where that dollar turns over time after time after time after time, touching many hands and lifting the entire community to higher levels of wealth and prosperity.
Ashe. This was a full call tonight. I do want to very quickly, while we have about 2 more minutes, Thank again everyone who is giving energy to this call tonight. Whether you spoke up tonight or not, we're looking forward to hearing your voice and making sure that you are present. And again, members, please invite others to the call. And if you're not yet a member, please send us your questions or concerns in reference to UsLiftingUs, and we will most definitely have conversations with you to grow and build. Brother DJ, did we have anyone holding by any chance?
No, that's it. We've got to everybody tonight. Great call.